What is up, everybody? Chef Niño Logarta here. I hope everybody's staying as solid as ever. We're here in the Nokori Private Resort here in Santa Maria, Bulacan. And today, we're going to be making our very own homemade Japanese Curry Roux. Of course, to make our Japanese curry with, and we're going to be serving it with our fish karage. Okay, it's going to be a one full meal on in your plate. Okay. Be a one full meal on in your plate. Okay, so you don't have to buy the instant curry roux in the Japanese marts. You can just make your own and store it for future use as well. Okay, medyo mahal actually yung mga Japanese curry roux, but you can make your own. Ito na yung gagawin natin ngayon. So let's start. Okay, heat up your pan. Tuloy lang. Heat up your pan, and we want to melt a half a cup of butter. Okay, we're doing a roux. So basically, what is a roux? A roux is a thickening agent that consists of starch and fat, equal parts starch and fat. In this case, we're using butter as the fat, and we're using flour, all-purpose flour, as the starch. Right? So half a cup of butter, and we're gonna add also a half a cup of sifted flour. So grab your whisk, and basically, just gonna dump it right in to our flour. So it's gonna melt everything together and let everything mix properly. Okay, so that's basically a roux. It's a cooked flour and butter mixture, because if you don't cook your flour and butter, you call it beurre manier. So it's not cooked, but since you introduced it to heat, you call it a roux already. Okay. So our roux is ready. We can turn down the heat. Now we can mix in all the spices that we wanna add to our curry. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Again, you can make your own. This is just a basic recipe, so it's up to you how much of each spice you want to add. I'm just giving you a basic recipe, and you just follow it, or you can make your own. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a tablespoon of turmeric powder, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg. I have here maybe 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. If you want to add more, you add more. I have here some ground cumin, a tablespoon. And I have here dried onion powder, a tablespoon as well. I have here some ginger powder, a tablespoon also. Everything's a tablespoon. Again, it depends on you how much you want to add of each ingredient. Just make your own. I have here some ground cloves, 1/4 teaspoon. I have here black pepper powder, half a teaspoon. I have here yellow curry powder, add a tablespoon of that as well. I have here garlic powder, a tablespoon also. Tablespoon of garlic powder. I have here some chili powder, and I have here the garam masala, which you can buy in your local Indian stores. A tablespoon of chicken powder. If you don't have chicken powder, you can use beef powder. And mix it all together and whisk it in. Make sure everything is well incorporated. So this is basically your Japanese curry roux. But again, you can do this ahead of time and store it for future use. Same as this one. I already made a few, two actually, couple of pieces, two pieces of curry roux, which I made ahead of time. See, sit up. And while it's still warm or hot, we're gonna scoop it into our ice trays to mold it into nice even blocks. Scoop some in, place it in like that. You can store it already, let it cool. Once it forms, you can take it out, unmold it, and store it in a airtight container. Place it in a refrigerator, and it would last you at least a couple of months. So set this aside, let it cool down, And I left some curry roux on our, a fresh curry roux on our pan. So what we want to do now is just add some water. So basically, you made your curry roux already. So just add a little bit of water, heat it up, and wait for it to thicken up. And then we're gonna add our water. Okay, so I added half a cup of water first. And let's see if we need to add a little bit more. Make sure you whisk it really well, so you don't end up with a lumpy sauce. Ayan. There you go. That's a cup already. That's a cup of sauce. So let it simmer for around a minute, and then you're done with your sauce. Now, we're gonna make our fish karage to serve with our sauce. So take this out. So while our oil is heating up, we're gonna prepare our fish. So we have here white-fleshed fish. For this one, I'm just using dory for now, but you can use any type of white-fleshed fish. So we're gonna season this with some pepper, freshly cracked black pepper, a little bit of soy sauce, maybe a tablespoon, just a tablespoon of soy sauce, and some ginger juice or freshly grated ginger. Just juice it, just squeeze it out, so you end up with your nice ginger juice, maybe a tablespoon. You dredge every piece of your fish with your potato starch. So I'm using potato starch because it retains its crispness longer compared to just using flour. Dump it in. And fry it for around maybe 2 to 3 minutes per side. But if you're deep frying this, just deep fry it for around 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, so while we're waiting for our fish to get done, just gonna slice up some red and green bell peppers to add into our sauce. Slice it up. Okay, so grab your fish, place it on a plate with paper towels to drain off the excess fat, and set that aside. Now, we're ready to finish our sauce. And here we have our fish karage with our homemade Japanese curry. Like always, try the recipe, give it your spin, and as in the beginning, stay solid.